Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, everybody. I hope you had a wonderful evening and we are back for our lockdown live webinars. My hair's still wet. Well, at least I showered. So waiting for everybody to join me. Today we're going to be talking about e-commerce websites. So I hope you have your thinking caps on. And while I wait for everybody to join me, good morning. I've got Lola here. Edward, how are you? Yes, you call me. Is that creepy? Look, Lola says hello. Yes. Yes, sticky dog. I need to give you a bath. I think we need to have a bath, hey? She join me for my morning shuffle, because I can't really call it a run. But at least I'm out the house and, seeing other human beings, which is nice. Okay, everybody. So we're talking about e-commerce websites. So we'll give it a minute or two, and then I'm going to start. If there are any websites you want me to look at, I suggest you give me their URL. Let's have a look here. Just getting a few up. Hello, Susan. Is Hermanus gorgeous? Cape Town's gorgeous. There's no wind. It's so divine. Oh, low tide. Taking a walk this morning on the beach. Well, not on the beach, because apparently the virus is on the beach. So we're walking next to the beach. We obeyed the rules. Okay. What is your favorite e-commerce store? That's a good place to start. Won't you type for me your favorite e-commerce store? Let's see what that is, and we'll call that up today, and we're going to be reviewing some e-commerce stores. All right, so let's get started. Hello, Hillary. Alrighty. Okay, let's get started. So, I'm going to flip the screen around, and you can see what I'm seeing now. So, we had a session the other day where we talked about website design, and I kind of looked very briefly at some of the e-commerce stores. But now we're going to go through what makes a good e-commerce store. So I've got a whole bunch of e-commerce stores up here. But before we go into e-commerce stores, I thought I would talk through different platforms. So now you've decided you need an e-commerce store and you don't know where to start, right? So as soon as we've gone through all the platforms, and I'll talk about the sort of best case scenarios of what you should be including in your e-commerce top performing e-commerce stores. So, all right, so let's have a look at Wix. So, never been a huge fan of Wix, but recently somebody told me that they've spent a lot of time upgrading the platform and really making it amazing. So somebody once reached out to me and asked me to quote them on their website, a website rebuild. And when I looked at their website, I was like, who designed this website for you? You must ask for your money back. This is shocking. And she said, oh, I designed it myself on Wix. So Wix is like, for me, you can build a site yourself on Wix. Okay. Let's have a look at those. Roger. Website Roger. Is that an e-commerce website? We can have a look at it now. Okay, so but then the other day I got a call from a lady who exclusively builds in Wix, and she says that Wix is really invested in their platform. Now have a fantastic platform that's really the other builders out there. So definitely go and have a look at Wix. What I suggest you do is see if they've got any templates that sort of match your look and feel, and just sort of apply one of their templates, that comes out of the box. Because you don't want it to look like, a dog's breakfast. Okay, so The other builder I want to chat to you about is Squarespace. I actually built a couple of websites for clients in Squarespace back in the day, and I loved Squarespace. I found it really intuitive, and I built a really beautiful website very, very quickly in Squarespace. The only thing I didn't like about Squarespace was, this is back in the day, I couldn't SEO my pages. So in other words, oh, Wine Tots, we'll check out Wine Tots. We'll critique you, Hillary. Free critique coming up. You're like, no, don't do it. WineTots.com. Okay, so you built that in Wix. So maybe you should share with us your experience. But we'll have a look at your website now quickly and see how the site can look. So let's see. It's busy loading. Unless the image is supposed to be that blurry. Just kidding. Okay, so you've got your intro, about you, what you're about. Okay, it's definitely loading. Or else it's just blank. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, well, we'll let that. Okay, very nice. Big opening banner. I do want to mention to you guys that some people, when I test websites, I have noticed that some people don't know that you can scroll down. If there's a big picture there, they think that's it. I promise you, like a lot of people, they don't realize that there's more down there. Unless the site is built primarily mobile first. So if most of your customers are coming to you from a mobile phone, then you're building for a mobile first experience. In other words, don't worry about what it looks like on desktop. Just make sure it looks amazing on mobile phone. So on a desktop, so you need to look at your Google Analytics to see. But what you might want to do, I mean, this is a beautiful opening image. You might want to put one of those little arrows there, or move the image up a little bit. And then we've got our intro section. And then, so the first thing I want to know is, remember from our website Basics 101 video we had the other day. If you haven't watched that, go and watch that. But there's about 4 things that people want to know. You've got about 4 seconds to impress people when they land on your site. They want to know, what is this website about? So what is the site about? What can I do here? What is in it for me, and what do you want me to do? Those are the kind of questions that people ask when they land on your website. So what is the site about? Wine and kids. The best spots for you and the tots. I think that's fairly clear. And people use the navigation to sort of give them a clue about what the website's about. So Hillary, you're welcome to add a few more things in here to help people understand what your website is about. So you might want to add in one called, and I'm sure you're getting there, because I mean it takes time to build these things, but wine spots reviewed, or venues, or something like that. But at least you've got the sites up here, and so that is step 1. And then this is obviously pulling through from, looks like your Instagram feed or something, or else it's, and then here we've got some more nice posts coming through, and some videos and a subscribe. So there's nothing wrong with this site. It's perfectly acceptable, and you saved yourself probably anything from 5,000 Rand to 15,000 Rand for somebody to have built this for you. So well done. Okay, so you can see that you can build a very, very acceptable site using Wix. And I do suggest that you find any templates that they might have. So there's their templates, and find a template that you like, and just apply the template. It's just going to be easier to get started on Wix. So they'll have like a business templates directory. Do you have a store? Are you a creative business? Are you a community? Is it a blog? So if you want to even just publish your blog, you can very, very simply get that up. But have a look at these. There's so many templates that you really shouldn't have any excuse for not having a really nice website actually fairly quickly. There you can see I've clicked on ad agency. So if I want to redesign my website in Wix, you can see. So if you have a lot of galleries and photographs, SmugMug is great. SmugMug, is that a builder? Never heard of that. We can have a look at that now. Okie dokie. So Hillary, you said something like that. Oh, very annoying when you can't see the cost of delivery. Very, very interesting you say that. Let's look at our next builder. So we've looked at Squarespace, and they also have templates. So I'm not going to really go into that, but basically you can apply any nice template, edit it. So Squarespace, really difficult to make an ugly website on Squarespace. Then I want to look at Shopify. So Shopify, also very easy to build a Shopify site. What I like about Shopify is it integrates seamlessly into your Instagram. So I'm a big fan of this business called Switch Beauty. Where is Switch Beauty? Switch Beauty. I had it, and there it is. So Switch Beauty is an Instagram first business. So in fact, if you want to see this business pop, you need to actually view them on Instagram. So they haven't built their website for customers who are computer first, because this business that has been created is literally created 100% for young people, and they're all phone 100% Instagram first, mobile phone first. So if the website doesn't look great, because it's not meant actually to be viewed on desktop, it's actually meant to be viewed on a mobile phone, or actually on. So you can see here, powered by Shopify. And Shopify, I know they have different packages. It's not free. I actually don't have much experience in building on Shopify, but you're welcome to go and check it out. And like I said, I love that they integrate so seamlessly with Instagram, because these days Instagram really it's amazing. I mean, it's the new, well, it's not even the new, it's the old. It's the old platform. But if you're ignoring Instagram, you might be cutting out a huge market, because a lot of people are tired of Facebook, although it still is the biggest platform, hands down. Okay, so you should be looking at Instagram, and if you do have a product that you can sell, yeah, one click from Instagram really is the way to go. But I've got to critique my beautiful friend from Switch Beauty, because I actually wanted to buy something from her the other day, and when see her mega fly out, and I can't remember what the product was, and she may have changed this, but when I added it to cart at the end, so I found the product, it's just loading, I added it to cart, there it is, let's say it was this one, beautiful, this is the one that I wanted, 150 Rand, add it to cart. And now this is the thing that you have to understand about e-commerce. You have to realize that this is the problem that you're going to have, is you're going to test your website so that you're going to think you know how the flow works, and you're going to think it's an easy user experience, that everything's great, because you're going to go click, 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 click when you run a test. But the problem is that you're not a new user, and your new users are the ones that give you the value and the insight. So you need to get your mom, your auntie, your granny, your uncle, your dad, anyone who doesn't know what you do. Okay, so now I've decided I want to check out. So you see here what I didn't notice, exactly to Hillary's point. Her website excludes VAT and shipping. So now emotionally I've decided I can afford 50 Rand. And when I click checkout, nowhere has she warned me that tax is not included, and nowhere has she warned me that shipping is not included. So now let's see how this price jumps. And let's have a look here. Oh, I first have to sign up, which I don't feel like doing. But that's a huge fail for me. So what I would rather do is present pricing as more expensive on the website. I would even add in the 50 Rand of shipping, and I would add in whatever it is, the 17 Rand 50 of she's called. And so then the product might come in at 20 Rand, and I see the product, but everything's included in the price, and all over the website I say free shipping wide. And the way that the shipping actually works is it's kind of like a cross-subsidization model. In other words, some cities are cheaper to ship to, and what you might say is free shipping to the major cities. Or what you might say is shipping, and you know that in some you win and in some you lose. But a very clever strategy, are you all listening? I got so suckered in by a Wine of the Month club, which don't we all wish was still able to operate. Wine of the Month club is a fantastic business that a lot of people don't understand how it works. Basically, you to a box of wine every month. So every month you can subscribe to the red wine, or you can subscribe to the mixed wine, the cheap wine, the expensive wine, whatever. They've got a whole bunch of different wines that get picked by their tasters, their premium tasters, and every single month you subscribe, get your fun box of wine. That's like a really nice experience, and it comes with tasting notes. It's kind of like the League of Beers for craft beers, but this is for wines, okay? So so when I was on their website, they actually suckered me in with a free, I got a mailer saying you get a free something if you order a bottle of wine, and I'm a sucker for a freebie. And so I was like, okay, let me order this box. And when I got on the website, it said, no, shipping is not free for orders under 500 Rand. And I think the box was 350 Rand or something. And I was like, okay, well, let me order something else. I ended up spending 1,000 Rand to save myself whatever it was, the 150 Rand of shipping. Isn't that ridiculous? Psychology. So manage customers' expectations. Tell them if it excludes shipping. Tell them if there's a guarantee. Tell them if there's a warranty. Tell them if there's customer service. Tell them if just manage their expectations, so that when I click check out, I'm not hit with any surprises. So I've done usability testing on websites where when I click check out, there's all kinds of weird things in there that the worst is GoDaddy. That's the most shocking, slightly criminal business I've ever dealt with, and I don't go near them because they have the most confusing checkout process. And when you finally do add to cart this domain you wanted to buy with the hosting, and you click checkout, it's like 1,500 Rand, and there's all kinds of weird things that sort of snuck in, and you didn't see them because they were auto ticked in the checkout process. And when we've run testing on those kinds of complicated sort of tech processes, people are like, oh, what is that thing? Do I need it? Okay. And then they're just left with this kind of uneasy feeling that they somehow got screwed over, and they're not sure how, and they lose trust. So the first thing you need to do as an e-commerce for your e-commerce websites is your messaging. Okay. So let's have a look here. Let's have a look at your messaging. So when I click on, let's say, for example, now, you could argue everybody knows Yuppiechef. So what is their messaging here? Here, immediately free delivery for orders over 450. And that is that clever messaging that makes people buy more. Okay, now you've got some more. These are called trust cues because their cue is sense of trust. So they've got their big, since we've been around for 13 years. Here, safe, secure shopping. This padlock, people love the picture of the padlock. Guaranteed. Deliver or collect throughout South Africa. Easy returns. People want to know this, online or in-store. They want to know, what do I do if I don't like it? They've even got retail stores here now. And, bizarrely, for an e-commerce site, a really big trust queue is this thing, this string down here at the bottom. For some reason, just putting the Visa and the MasterCard logo on your website makes the average user or the average visitor feel like, oh, Visa and MasterCard have endorsed this website. Meanwhile, you're just saying, I accept Visa and MasterCard. So, but I really suggest you go and check out the Yuppiechef website. What I said in the last website discussion that I didn't like about Yuppiechef is I can't shop all, I can't browse. So what I said is you got to cater for hunters and you got to cater for gatherers. So the gatherer doesn't know what she wants. It's a she because I'm a she. And she's just there to spend money. And I don't want to have to click from category to category because you have structured your site for people who know exactly what they want to buy. So that's what I suggest that you do, is go and have a look at the Yuppiechef site because their messaging is pretty good. Another place where you can put messaging is way up here in this top sort of where they've got their black section, or even here above their menu. you can put your trust messaging up there. So it's above the fold. It's hard to miss. You know, I have to sort of scroll down a couple of scrolls to see this trust messaging. And you know what? Some of the top websites repeat this trust messaging in a different format as you start checking out, because that's where you start losing people. So as you start checking out, what happens is people start thinking, oh, it's a bit more than I thought, and oh, maybe I should go. Yeah, I don't know. Do I trust this site? Maybe they're going to steal my money. Maybe I'm not going to get it. So again, you can even have, you know, customer testimonials. So that's one thing that's missing from their site is customer testimonials. Although customer testimonials can look so fake. So if you do have customer testimonials, I would bring in, you know, if you're a venue, I would bring in your, you can actually pull in like a feed of your reviews from Trustpilot, or what's that other big website, TripAdvisor, or you can bring in your Facebook reviews, or you can bring in your Google Plus reviews, not Google Plus, Google My Business reviews. So these reviews really do matter. And if you pull them in, then they are completely real, because they are not, you know, you don't just pick the nice ones and put them up there. So if you're pulling in in customer reviews, I suggest you pull them in from a source that is trustworthy. Okay, so Yuppiechef is a good example of a site, except for the fact that I don't like their menu. It doesn't really have everything. You know, I have to go hop from tableware to food and drink. So an example of a website that's done this, as I discussed last time, was Hertex House. They have an all products right here at the end of the website, where I can just browse everything I might ever want in my life. Okay, and then obviously WordPress. Now we build almost all our websites in WordPress. Most of websites on the web are built on WordPress. It is really an easy platform to use. It's slightly more complicated than, for example, a Wix or a Squarespace, but it's a lot more powerful. The great thing about using these builders, especially for e-commerce, is that they come with designed e-commerce checkout processes. Now, when I started in digital marketing in online casino, we were hand building our checkout process. There was no like off-the-shelf checkout process. So in other words, we literally were handcrafting all our error messaging, stuff you don't even think about. You know, what happens if this is wrong? It's automatically built into your builder. You know, what's the error messaging? What is your what is the flow? What is the next page and the next page? So what happens is, you know, WordPress and Shopify have spent a lot of time mastering this checkout process to make sure that it is a good user experience and that you lose as few people as possible along the way. So I would suggest that you definitely use one of these builders like WooCommerce for WordPress, because it's been built specifically. It's been modified, it's been edited, it's been improved, and so you're going to have less drop-off. And the great thing about WooCommerce is you can actually set up these great abandoned cart emails. So basically, once people, you know, a lot of people are going to add your product to cart and never actually come back. And did you know that these abandoned cart emails are really successful in bringing customers back to their carts? And it's all automated. You don't have to go in there and check who's there. But the great thing is you can see everybody, all their details of everyone who's added an abandoned cart, and you can actually message them one by one if you wanted to. But these automated mailers are great, and I do encourage you to explore all of the plugins that are available for WooCommerce, because WooCommerce has a lot of plugins that are not free and they're not included in the basic installation, but they really just unlock the power of WooCommerce. So we're not going to go into the actual setup of one of these e-commerce sites. We just don't have time for that. But go and have a look at Xandr. So Xandr's got their menu on the left-hand side, which I do not love, because in my view, menus belong at the top. And so they've taken up some valuable real estate, I feel, here with this menu, and I don't know why they haven't just put it up at the top there. So they've kind of broken the basics. This is kind of what Takealot has, which I also don't love, because I feel like it's, it's kind of like from 10 years ago, web design. Google tends to do this because Google doesn't know anything about user experience. So when you're using Google Analytics, the menu goes down at the bottom, and then they go and hide the whole thing. Menus belong up at the top. So just to talk about your homepage quickly, I feel like everything that's important should be on your homepage. And I feel like Takealot should have infinite scroll on their homepage. Like if I'm on Pinterest, imagine if Pinterest, every time you got to the bottom of the page, you had to click next. Nobody would use Pinterest. So the beauty of Pinterest is you can literally just do infinite scroll, infinite scroll, infinite scroll. Why does Takealot not have that? It can automatically load, doesn't have to load as you open the website, because then it'll slow the whole website down. But as I get to the bottom, it can automatically refresh and there can be new products there. Why does it not have this? Why does Yuppie Chef not have this? I want to be able to infinite scroll and just go through the home page and just amaze me with everything that you have without having to click. So people don't like clicking. They don't like clicking. So make your home page, if you've got products, put them up on the home page. I can't tell you how many websites I review and they don't actually even have the products there. You know, people really don't like clicking. They've got this fear of, I'll go somewhere and I won't know where I am and I'll be lost and I don't know how to get back. And yeah, I've actually seen human beings getting lost on the interwebs, where they click somewhere and then they don't know where they are and they don't know how to get back, and it's just weirdness. So if you do have an e-commerce store, I would say look at your homepage. Your homepage is the most important, and you know why? Because most people never click deeper than your homepage. You'll see a huge drop-off rate from your homepage to actually people clicking deeper. So that's why I would say be the first in South Africa to introduce infinite scroll on your homepage. So here we've got house. They've got their categories here. They've got a video there. They've got their rugs expanded. And what they could do, because if I'm still scrolling, I'm still happy to be here. They could actually now in this section here introduce actual physical product and put infinite scroll in and get rid of this whole footer area here. Just basically have infinite scroll as much as is possible, because they don't have infinite product, so they would still need the footer area. Okay, so there we have Switch Beauty that we looked at, and we looked at Wix, and we looked at Shopify, and we looked at WordPress. We looked very briefly at Xander's. Let's see if they've got any trust messaging. So here's their trust messaging over here. Now, I don't love that it's here because people read from top to bottom and from left to right. So in that sense, this makes sense, because what they've done is they've left aligned everything, although I don't love these icons, because the eye first reads the icon, and so it's and then this thing doinks out there, so it's kind of a bit weird. So if you're going to write for easy scannability, I understand you starting from top to bottom and left to right. But now there's no flow here to there. Well, maybe there is a bit of a flow. But let me just touch on these banners. This is so old school, guys. We're not doing this anymore. We're really not doing this. These little, 10 icon, what are these things called? 10 banners, and each one clicks with a different message. We're not doing that. This is like so last year. So you can get rid of that happily. These look quite nice. Might come back here. So there you've got their products, and here they've started expanding. And what I like to see is they've got a nice, fairly long homepage. Don't know if you can see this. There's the scroll bar. So I get an idea of, I'm going to be scrolling nice and far. Scroll down, and they've done a really good job of unpacking their products. Now, do you see this big text bank here? Why do you think they have this here? This is for search engine optimization. So if you watch my video on search engine optimization, they're trying to rank for everything that is bolded and underlined. And if you see there, they're linking to a page. So clothing is linking to women's clothing. Can you see that? women's clothing page. So it's a bit of a fail because this link should say women's clothing if it's linking to the women's clothing page. And shoes is linking to men's shoes, which is interesting because they haven't hyperlinked the keyword men's shoes to the page men's shoes. But potentially what they're trying not to do is keyword stuff, because I see over here they do have a men's shoes linking to men's shoes. So what they're doing is they're not keyword stuffing. That's what they're doing. They're diluting it so that it doesn't look like they're just being too intentional with their SEO, which Google doesn't like. Yes, that's what they're doing. There's dresses, and I'll bet you I'll find women's dresses further down. No, I don't. I don't find it. So maybe they actually just don't know what they're doing. Okay, so, but this is actually a very good idea to have your search engine optimized text bank somewhere. And I bet you if I turn off style sheets, then if I turn off style sheets, then what they should do is this should actually shoot to the top so that the spider would see it up here. And that's a little bit higher grade, but basically what happens is the spider thinks that the website starts with this bank of text, and that spiders love that. Spiders think that is a really good idea. Human beings not so much. So Colin, you're asking me if the sliders are old school, what should be there instead? Yes, very good question. Watch my video that I did the other day on website design. So what I prefer here is I prefer a nice one opening video. I prefer, what you can do is you can have sliders, but keep the words exactly the same. So the text doesn't change, but the image behind it can change. So human beings struggle to comprehend this flicky. And it actually doesn't do anything for you. The worst I think I showed you last time was AfriHost. AfriHost and these type of ISPs, they just love this flicky banner with such like complex wording and pictures and changing and the style changes. It goes from being completely dark to being completely white, and my eye battles and your comprehension, and now it's red, so my comprehension literally falls through the floor. It's almost impossible to actually absorb what's being said here. Oh, it's an image. It's like a static image anyway. So what I suggest is pick your most important message, and you can have a visual behind that changes, but definitely do not be doing this thing, because you know what? It just makes visual clutter, and human beings are really struggle with that. Okay, so have we covered everything about that you need to know? We've given you some builders, and we've given you some tips about your home page, and we've given you some messaging, and I think that's pretty much all that we have time for. But let me just also say, and I probably should have said this in the beginning, but I only thought about it now. If you really pressed for time, pressed for budget, why don't you just use a Facebook, set up your store in Facebook? You don't necessarily even have to create a website. You know, it can be as simple as put the photos up, put the pricing there, and say, email me. You know, you don't have to overcook it. You know, if you don't have a lot of budget and you do have a lot of time, and maybe you are really just like a dinosaur when it comes to technology, a digisaur, one of my clients calls it, very clever, digisaur, digital dinosaur, then just take pictures of your products in the text, or, you know, just write there what the product costs and say, you know, email me. Like, there's nothing wrong with that as well. So just get going, get some sales happening, and then once you've got some money, then you can invest in a slightly better website. And that's the biggest thing. When I deal with clients, the first thing I say is, you know, let's get you customers, and then we can look at rebuilding your website if it needs a rebuild, or let's just fix it up. There's so many clients right now that we're dealing with that we're just doing a fix up. We just hop on their sites, we just look at it, we just give some recommendations, and you know, like, I'm not, you know, a lot of people are just like, no, we must rebuild. You know what upsets me is when agencies tell companies to rebuild. I met a guy once who had spent R1 million building an app, R1 million building an app. And he met an agency that told him, the app's built in the wrong platform. Let's spend another R1 million and build the app again. The man never had one customer. He didn't have one person using it, and he was already rebuilding the app. My mentality is, the app's fine. Let's see if people want the app before you waste another R1 million. So that is my view on websites. So I hope you found this helpful. Like, comment, and share, and please subscribe in the comment box. Okay, that didn't make sense. But anyway, thank you for joining me, guys. It's amazing to have spent the morning with you. I hope you had some coffee. I have my coffee here. And yeah, stay in touch. And let me know what you want me to talk about next week. So, or do we have a topic already set? I can't remember. But let me know in the comments if there's a topic you want me to cover. I'm happy to cover it. Otherwise, go ahead and watch some of the old videos that we've created over the course of lockdown. I think some of them you'll find quite helpful. Okay, so Colin, the videos for our lockdown series, you can find them under the videos section. Here in this chat group, you just on the left-hand side in Facebook, in this group, you just click videos and you'll find our whole series there. If you subscribe to our newsletter on the shift1.co.za website, we send out mailers and we've got all the links there. Otherwise, what you can do is I can ask Kristen to create a post with maybe all the links in it, so then it'll be easier for everyone to get to them. Okay, Hillary, I'll give you a call. Lovely seeing you guys. Have a great week. Have a great week. And send me your websites if you want me to have a look at it. Happy to just give you a quick once over. Thanks, guys. Nice seeing you, Dominique. Thanks for popping by.